Hi everyone, Mark Anthony here at thevegastourist.com. We are down on the Fremont Street Experience answering your question about what's going to happen to Vegas Vicky once this block goes dark at the end of June.
So what happens to her and the rest of the buildings recently purchased by Derek Stevens and his brother? It all remains a mystery. Of all things, many people are curious about what's going to happen to Vegas Vicky, the neon cowgirl that sits atop the glitter Gulch. Yes, it's Vicky, V-I-C-K-I-E. For you Vegas fanatics, it's I-E. And no, contrary to popular belief, she was never known as Sassy Sally, but I'll explain that in a little bit here, okay? So what's going to happen to Vegas Vicky? Well, we're not sure now that Derek Stevens and his brother basically purchased that entire block. Also, they purchased the LaBayou, which is next to the Golden Gate. Now, they already own the D and the Golden Gate. They purchased and closed the neighboring Las Vegas club earlier this year. So they have a big piece of real estate there that they're going to play with. So right now, let's look at the history of Vegas Vicky and that of her now darkened neighbors. First up is Mermaids, the home to 99-cent deep-fried Twinkies and deep-fried Oreos plus real coin slot machines. Mermaids started out in 1909 as a pharmacy, and it was ran as a pharmacy until 1952. In 1956, the first casino on the corner of Fremont and First was called the Silver Palace. 16,000 square feet, and was the first two-level casino club in town to have motorized stairs connecting the main floor with the restaurant, otherwise known as escalators, the first escalator in Las Vegas. In 1964, the Silver Palace becomes the Carousel, and it was featured in the 1971 James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever. In 1974, it became the Gamblers Hall of Fame. In 1976, they renamed it Sundance West. In 1981, Herb Pastor, remember that year and the name, takes it over and he names it Sassy Sally's, the nickname of his kid's babysitter and probably the one name most associated with that building. In 1999, Herb guts the entire place, remodels it, and renames it Mermaids in 2000. Now next to that is Glitter Gulch. Glitter Gulch began in 1931 as the 21 Club. 1934, it became the Barrel House Club. In 1955, it became Golden Slots. In 1958, Cecil Lynch's Fortune Club. In 1966, it was known as Goldie's, and rumor has it that it was topless. Somewhere in 1975, it became Mr. Reed's, and in 1980, it became Bob Stupak's Glitter Gulch. Bob Stupak at that time was the man who owned Vegas World. He owned Glitter Gulch for 1 year before selling it to Herb Pastor and focusing on the Stratosphere. During that year, the Neon Cowgirl, also known as Vegas Vicky, was designed by Jack Dubois and Charles Bernard of Ad Art in 1980. Remember, Sassy Sally did not come into existence until 1981, right? Herb Pastor buys Glitter Gulch and merges it with his neighboring casino, the Golden Goose. And so the Golden Goose and Glitter Gulch are now one casino, and they run it that way until 2000, when Herb Pastor, Golden Goose, started out in the 1930s as the State Cafe. 1952, Buckley's Jackpot. In 1960, it stopped being a gambling joint and became Pioneer Loans. And then in 1973, it became Mecca Slots. 1974, Herb Pastor buys it and it becomes the Golden Goose Casino. All right? There you go. Next to all that is the Vegas Club. Well, that actually started out in 1905 as the Overland Hotel. Now, history shows that this was the first documented use of a neon sign in Las Vegas in 1928. In 1949, the Las Vegas Club Casino, which up until then was across the street, moves into the first level, and that's when it becomes a casino. In 1958, they expand the building to Main Street behind it. In 1978, the first 16-story tower was added. In 1996, the second 16-story tower was added. In an interview with Vital Vegas, Derek Stevens said that the towers were built to be and have permits in place to be 32 stories tall. So they could literally double the size of the towers at the Las Vegas Club without any new permits. In 2015, all of that was sold to Derek Stevens and his brother. Now, across the street from all this, across the Fremont Street Experience from all this, is LaBayou. Now, LaBayou began in 1920 as the Northern Club. In 1931, it was the very first gaming license issued in Las Vegas. In 1970, her pastor buys it and calls it the Coin Castle. In 1998, he shuts the Coin Castle down, guts it out, gives it a New Orleans feel to it, and calls it LaBayou. Now, all of this that was all owned by her pastor was sold to his son, Steve Bernstein, in 2006. Now, all of this goes dark at the end of June 2016. So Derek Stevens and his brother basically own that entire block from Mermaids to the Las Vegas Club, and they're going to shut it all down. So that whole area there is going to go dark unless they keep the lights on for some reason. All right, but they haven't said that what exactly that they're going to do with this all other than a major redevelopment project. Everyone's kind of guesstimating that the LaBayou will just be merged into the Golden Gate and become a nightclub or something like that. Don't see that happen because of the history of it, being that was the very first gaming license in Las Vegas. In 1994, during the building of the Fremont Street Experience, Vegas Vickie was married to her neighbor, the much older Vegas Vic. So what's going to happen to this married couple? Is Derek Stevens going to separate them and send Vegas Vickie to the Neon Boneyard? We hope not. We hope that he somehow incorporates it into whatever the new development is down there in that big block that they now own. We also hope that they somehow keep the lights on, because it'd be a shame to have that whole block there dark. Whatever's going to happen, we're going to let you know here at The Vegas Tourist. As always, leave your comments and questions below. I will answer them. You can find more information in the show notes or at thevegastourist.com. As always, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you all next time.